Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I am up at the viewpoint at Lucky Peak Reservoir right now. It is a cold fall day, about 40 degrees. It got really cold into the 20s last night. So it's almost to the point that it's time to start wearing gloves when I fly. So no doubt we're closing in on winter. I hadn't flown out here in a while. I wanted to see how low the reservoir was, etc. It's not as low as I thought it would be, quite frankly, which is probably a good thing. And you'll see that in a minute when we fly the drone. Anyway, so yeah, if you're the sharp-eyed among you that look at sectional charts, if you look at where I'm at Lucky Peak Reservoir, you'll say, hey Marcus, you're in Class E surface airspace. How come you're flying there? Well, Class E can be a little bit different, and there's several different types of Class E airspace. And this fits into what they call type E3. And the reason that you can fly here and no permission is needed is because there is a solid magenta line that bisects the segmented square that you're going to see on the sectional chart, the magenta segmented square. Now, when we talk about Class E airspace, often we're talking about 700 feet and above, and that's where you see it's a kind of a thick magenta line when you look at the sectional chart. And then beyond that, it's 1,200 feet. So when you go up above 1,200 feet, again, it's Class E airspace that you cannot fly in. Obviously, we're limited to 400 feet on our drones anyway. So both of those, 700 and 800, really they're kind of meaningless to us with drones because we can't fly over 400 feet anyway. But just for kind of a little bit of a tutorial here, I guess, there is also E4 airspace, and I'm going to put all this up on the screen so that you can see it, or you probably already have seen. I've probably already put some of those slides up there already. But E4 is when it's Class D or E airspace, and it again is segmented by that either a solid line or a segmented line, bisected I should have said. And then if it is Class E2, then you do have to get authorization. So for instance, that's an airport that is that is in controlled airspace, and it's just a segmented magenta line around it, and you've got to have clearance to fly in that airspace. Now, typically when you're talking about E3 or E4, they're an extension of a different kind of an airspace, so whether that's Class D or E. In this case, this is an extension of Class C airspace, the Boise Airport, but because it's segmented, or not segmented, bisected by that solid magenta line, you can fly here. So I think what it's there for is that kind of denotes where the flyways are, where planes are coming in. And I've been on commercial aircraft coming over this particular Lucky Peak here, and I've looked out the window, and let me tell you, you're way up there when you're in an aircraft coming into the Boise Airport. And interestingly enough, I'm going to see if I can turn the camera around. The reason you have to pay attention, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but we got a helicopter coming right now. And you know, how high is he? I'll bet he's over 400 feet, but that's one of the reasons you always got to give away to manned airspace. He's got something underneath that aircraft. It would be interesting to know what that is. And it looks like that's a Black Hawk, so no doubt they're on some kind of a training mission, I would say. Kind of into the sun, but this is right in the area where we're going to be flying today, so that's why you got to pay attention. I'd sure like to know what that is that they're towing underneath that aircraft. That's probably more information than you wanted. What you want to see is the Mavic 3 fly, and that's why we're here today. So yeah, just a little bit about Class E airspace. Okay, so let's put this guy up in the air and let's take a look over the reservoir here. And like I said, you're going to see the water. I thought it would be a lot lower because we've had a very dry year, but let's just quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. Yeah, okay, so I've got the aircraft fired up, the controller fired up, and the app, and it's saying we're ready to go. But let's go ahead and take a look at the safety menu. And you'll hear an aircraft in the background. That is a commercial aircraft, and let me tell you, he is way up there and way to the south of us as well. Okay, so again, we're going to leave obstacle avoidance on bypass. Yeah, obstacle detection radar map, we want that. That's pretty cool. That's on your screen, tells you what obstacles it sees. I'm going to put return to home way up there, although with smart return to home, that shouldn't make much difference, but because it should go around anything, but I'm not 100% sure how all that works yet, so I'm going to run that way up to 110 meters. And the reason I'm doing that is there's some peninsulas and stuff around here. I want to make sure the drone, if we get behind something, you can get well above them. Excuse me, I need to go back into that safety menu again. Maybe? Okay. And then you can see compass is normal, IMU is normal, and we'll check the battery just for the fun of it. And as expected, 4.33 volts on all 4 cells, so nothing going on there. Let's see, so we're in 4K 30, and I'm going to leave it in 4K 30 because I think we are going to be doing a little bit of zooming today. So using that Explorer mode, as DJI calls it. So, gosh, I don't see any reason why we can't take off. I'm starting recording now. Let me get out of the way so you can watch the bird launch. And let me lower the camera here just a little so you can see it. And yeah, let's go ahead and do an auto takeoff. And there's the drone. I am not going to, normally I would take it up about 7 meters high to give it a look at the landing pad, but I do not believe that we need to worry about that right now because precision landing is not active until that firmware update that we'll see in January, or I believe that to be the case. So I'm going to click out of this altitude zone nearby. So that is weird. So that has nothing to do, that is just a DJI invention. That altitude zone, I just kind of wonder why they do that, because we just talked about the different types of airspace here, and anyway, doesn't apply. So let's go ahead and turn around here. You know, in any case, if you look at that thing, it says 150 meters. Why? Well, we're not going to be above 150 meters at any rate, right? So I don't know, it's kind of weird. Okay, so you can see the drone there. It's looking pretty good. We'll rock it back and forth here a little bit, and I can see that obstacle avoidance. It's not liking what it sees already, so I'm going to drop the gimbal down, and we're going to do our manual droney. So let's go reverse and up now. Reverse and up. And we're sending that drone out over the reservoir here as a old beater truck goes by behind me. He's making a fair amount of noise. And there you can see the viewpoint that I'm standing on here. Man, I'll tell you what, this is just such an awesome place to fly a drone from. And so I'm going to give you a quick look around the reservoir here. I'm going to yaw to the drone's, I guess it would be to the drone's right. And people that follow my channel have seen this before. We've gone up that little spur there, but let's look up the main part of the reservoir here. And that is Lucky Peak Reservoir. And honestly, I expected to see just a little puddle of water at the bottom of this thing, but we're not. It's pretty darn full. Let's pick that camera up a little bit. Let's head on down the reservoir ways. And we're just in normal mode here. Boy, I didn't put my lanyard on the controller here, and I'm kind of wishing I had. I've got the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and this is a fairly heavy controller, and I'm kind of wishing I had that that lanyard on to help hold the thing up. Kind of fun just going down the taking a look at the reservoir here, and we'll look at some stuff as we go along here. But I just wanted to get down the reservoir ways here first. Let's throw it into sport mode so we can make some time. And of course, you got to remember that shuts off obstacle avoidance. I just wanted to remind folks of that. And look at that, we're already up to about 21 meters per second. It hit there for a second, so that's over 45 miles an hour. Okay. I am going to go back into normal mode, and we are going to go off to the drones right here again. And let's look up this little bit here, right here. There's some just cool spots, and when people go boating, they can go up these little fingers, and if you can see those little docks that are I think that's what I'm seeing there. Hard for me to tell for certain here, but they put up little docks so that people can get off their boat and camp in these areas. So yeah, I think I was looking at something else there, but anyway, I am not going to go up that draw there. We're going to back our way out. And kind of start going back up the reservoir here a ways. But I just wanted to show you that. And you know, interestingly enough, I've flown here enough that is an area that I've been in with other drones that I often have lose some of the GPS satellites. Not with this DJI drone. It sucks them right in. We've got 23 sats right now, so it just doesn't have a problem with things like that. Back into sport mode here. Let's get down the reservoir, and we'll look at some of this other stuff. There's a lot of cool places here that they set up on the reservoir here, and this, you know, the Army Corps of Engineers is who manages this, and they just got some cool places set up for people to recreate here. And here's one of them right here. And you know what? I'm looking for the little wooden docks that I usually see, and I'm not seeing one there. So. But yeah, there's something going on. We better go explore that. Let's take a quick look here. Back to normal mode. Yeah, there's those docks down there. What am I saying? See those docks? And you can see, looks like this one even has a little restroom there. Yeah, look at, there's several spots there. Isn't that cool or what? So if you're on your boat in the middle of summer, you can just go out there and find a nice little camping spot there and be fairly secluded, and each one, you know, people can hitch up to all those docks. And I think those maybe restrooms are probably picnic shelters. And I know people come out here and camp. So let's go back out over the lake again, or the reservoir, I should say. Pick up that camera a little, and off we go. Pretty darn cool. And yeah, we're about, I guess, about 75 meters higher than our takeoff point here, which is about 160 feet or so. Let's just kind of move at a kind of a sideways area here, so you can kind of get a look at the side of the you know, the reservoir here, and you can see the levels as they dropped. Again, you know, I expected the reservoir to be way lower than it is right now because we've had such a dry year. So I'm looking at that road going up that little draw there. I don't know if that's a road, but they must, well, no, maybe that isn't. That's just a trail. But there definitely looks like there's a road here going on the side of the reservoir. So I don't know how you get to that. And here's another part of the reservoir. We are not going to go up that because I don't want to get behind that hill there and you know, lose direct connection with the drone. But let's yaw around here so you can take a look. In fact, this is probably a good spot to try out some zoom. Let me pick the camera up here. And let's go into Explorer mode. And we can just look up the reservoir here. That's what that's for, isn't it? So it says shooting in progress, unable to switch. So I'm already in 4K 30. That confused me the other day. So you have to stop shooting. Then you go into Explorer mode. And then I can start recording again, and I should be able to, no, I had that on. I thought I had that on. Okay, I'm confused. Shooting in progress, unable to switch. So I already had it on. That's what sorry about that. I'm stumbling around here, folks. Sorry. Starting recording again. And so a couple ways you could do it. I can just click on that 1X on the screen, and it should take me to 2X, and then click on it again. It will take me to 3X, or 4X, excuse me. It skips 3X and goes right to 4X. So that kind of gives us a look up the reservoir. I'm going to hold down the function button and see if I can scroll out. And yes, I can zoom back out, and I can. There is 3X right there. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can look. Let's go. So you saw it skip right there. Let me take it back to 7X. So it skips from 4X to 7X. And the reason that it does that is that's when it switches to that zoom camera on the top. And look at that. You know, that's a pretty clear look. And we got to look at the cliff face on the side, other side of the reservoir there. Let's zoom in even further. And I'm using the, holding down the function button and using the scroll wheel to do that. So we're about 22 times there. Yeah, I saw a little movement there, so I don't know exactly what that is. Let's scroll all the way up to 28. And I'm going to see if I can pick up the gimbal just a little. But look at that. 28 times zoom, and you've got, you know, reasonable definition there. You can see what's going on. So I'm holding down the function button and zooming out. So let's zoom all the way back out to 1 by and just kind of give you an idea of the capabilities of that drone. And I know that move there, I'm not sure what that was. I wasn't touching the sticks. So you saw it skip from 7 to 4 there, and we're almost back out to 1. That's a heck of a capability if you ask me. That's pretty darn cool. And we saw a little movement. I don't know if it was the drone moving there or what, but we did see when we were zooming out there, about a little movement. So I'm going to look up the other way here, the other way up the reservoir. And yeah, that's pretty dry there, isn't it? Yeah, not much going on there. Okay. Let's yaw around, and it's time to start heading back this way. Here we come. Throwing her into sport mode here. We might as well get with the program, right? That's one of the cool things about having a drone with the kind of capabilities that this one has, is to have the ability to get that speed up. And again, you know, we're about 21 meters per second, which translates to about 45 miles an hour. That little jiggle you saw there was me on the stick accidentally. Yeah, coming on back. So I see I've gained some altitude here as I was messing around. Boy, I'll tell you, you know, even though we're going over 40 miles an hour, when it sure seems slow, doesn't it, when you're doing this? Let's look at this little point right here as we're going over the top. And we'll pick the camera back up. And as you can see, we're facing directly into the winter sun here. Well, it's not quite winter yet, but boy, that sun is sure getting low in the sky, in the southern sky. We can go over here, and I've shown you guys this before, but this is another one of those little campsites that people can get set up in. I'm going back into normal mode here. And let's lose some altitude as we come into this. And you can see some more of those docks there. It's hard to believe that the water is that high, huh? When you look at it now. And yeah, the water is that high, and you know, in the middle of summertime. And boy, this thing is full of boats at that time of year. Yeah, there it is. Okay, let's pick that camera up just in time to run into the side of the mountain here. Nah, let's not do that. And I can see I gained altitude again there as I was coming around. And there we are. That is where we're standing on the end of that point right there. Pick the gimbal up just a tad and show that to you. And we're still at 50% battery. We flew clear to the end of the reservoir there, or well, not clear to the end, but a fair amount down the reservoir there. Let's drop some altitude here. We don't need to be that high. And bring it on back here, and then we'll kind of do a circle around the point here. Something that I like to do, kind of show this. I just think it's kind of a dramatic place to be flying a drone from, and it's just kind of cool because you're on the end of this peninsula. I'll tell you what, it is cold. My fingers are cold, folks. I'm going to have to put some gloves on here in a second. And I can hear the drone. Let's begin our circle around here. And you can see my my truck there. And there's a motorhome parked right next to me. I'm going to drop the gimbal down just a little so you can get a little better view. And we're about 38 meters high and about 200 and some meters away from our takeoff point here. In case you were wondering distance there. And by the time we get around the other side, the dam will be behind us. And we're not going to go over the dam, but yeah, we'll get on this side here. You can kind of see this whole little deal, and maybe we'll do a quick overflight. And maybe take you out and show you where all the boat docks and so forth are. Although I haven't seen any boats out on the lake today. Okay, this is probably a good spot to mess around with zoom a little bit again. What do you think? So let's go. I'm just going to do it on the screen, just tapping. There's 2 by, And yeah, you can see me standing there right in the shadow of my wave here a little bit. And let's go 3 by. And I'm waving. I don't know. I bet. Let's see. So let me adjust our yaw just a little. And I'm going to center up just a little. And there we are at 4 by. So now let's hit it again, and it should take us to 7 by. And there it is, 7 by, and that is that's the other camera. And again, I'm waving. So I'm going to hold down the function button and zoom in here. And if I had a free hand, I'd wave. There we go. I'm waving again. That is 18 by. Let me pick up the gimbal just a tad and adjust over just a little bit. And let's see if we can, let's see what it looks like at full zoom. So the drone, just for reference, the drone is 262 meters away. I'm waving. So, you know, that, I mean, obviously it's not exactly what you'd call crisp and clear for sure. But you know, if you were looking for something, you know, a search and rescue type situation or something, I think that would be perfectly appropriate. Or like they say, they call it explore mode, so you're just looking for another place to fly your drone. So I clicked it right back out there to 1 by, and so that gives you kind of an idea of how much we zoomed there. So let's throw it into sport mode here, and let's run right over the top of us here. We're going full stick forward, and I'm going to see if I can drop the gimbal down as we go. And boom, there we are. Look at the side of that peninsula and down into the water. Pick that camera up again. Let's move around, and I promised you a look at the boat docks. So let's head over there. Oh, there is a boat out there. Look at this. Let's look at this guy. So that looks like a sailboat, doesn't it? Okay, let's zoom in on him. 3, 4. There's 7. Look at that. That's pretty cool, huh? So that's what that zoom will do for you. That's pretty neat. Looks like he's under motor power. Look at his sails all of a sudden lose the wind there, and as he gets the other way, they pick him up. Pretty darn cool. Then it goes to 14. I'm tapping through here. Trying to tap back 28. So that's... Whoops, I stopped recording there. Sorry, I was tapping and I stopped recording. So we missed probably that 28 part of that, but in any case. And we're looking right into the sun here, so I guarantee it'll look better when we're out of the sun. I switched us back into normal mode there. We were in sport mode. We're not that far away here, so that is what the boat dock looks like. And we know there's at least one boat out there. I'm trying to remember, gosh, I should know what this ravine is called. I've flown up it before. Gosh, I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head. And there's the parking spot for the boat dock. In the summertime, trust me, you're not going to find a place to park there at all. This place gets packed with folks recreating. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try return to home, and let's see what the smart return to home does. So I'm purposely pointed kind of towards the dam here, and let's do a return to home. I'm going to do it on the controller, and let's see how quick it takes it. It didn't take long, and there you see it's pointed towards us. I'm going to pick up the gimbal just a slight bit there. And this is that smart return to home. So remember, I set the return to home height really high, so it looks like it's gradually ascending. There it stopped at 73 meters. So that return to home height is just not as important, you know, with this smart return to home. And I think what we're going to see as it gets closer to us, it will descend. Just like an airplane, just like it's coming in for a landing, it'll start descending. Yeah, looks like it's aimed right for that motorhome there, huh? But it should be right on the other side of us here. Well, it isn't. Oh, yeah, now it's coming down. Look, it's coming down fast. Look at that. Look at that. I'm looking up at the drone. So let's see. We got a lot of room here. So hopefully I can just let it land and we'll see how close it is to the... Yeah, it's going to be pretty close. Let me dip the camera down here so that we catch it. Yeah, you're seeing that on the GoPro. So you know we're about I don't know, 2 feet off of the pad there. So yeah, hopefully we'll get that precision landing in January when they do the big update. Okay, I'm going to stop recording on the drone. Let me get everything shut down and we'll do a quick conclusion. Hey, okay, the DJI Mavic 3. Man, I'll tell you, this thing is just such a pleasure to fly. That's all I can say. I have so much fun flying this drone. It is fast, it's powerful, it's precise. And I know, you know, yeah, like everybody else, I wish all the features that it had were already active, but man, I'm having so much fun flying it, I don't even miss them yet. But I look forward to when they're available, and of course we'll do a ton of videos when they are. We'll try everything out, trust me. But this was a good flight today, so we got to take a look at that zoom function. We used it a couple of times, 3 times I think, and showed kind of how that works. It's a pretty cool feature, and just the precision of the drone. Looking at, you know, we were able to just get right in and look at some of the parts of the reservoir here. So yeah, I guess that's about it. Enough jibber jabbering. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. And I know you took some time out of your day to watch this video, so I appreciate it. I want you to know that I appreciate it, because I do. And yeah, of course, we'll see you on the next one. Just a pretty cool piece of equipment, the DJI Mavic 3. All right, see ya.